Well, hello and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Cockfosters, London Underground station at Cockfosters even, which is the east end of the Piccadilly line. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to take a train, 1973 stock, down to Heathrow, Terminal 4. So we're going to stick you in the window of the cab. I'll try and do some commentary and explain some things to you if the mic will pick it up when we get on the train as we go down. I'm not sure my batteries will last all the way down to Heathrow. If not, I will then do it another day, the bits I miss. But at the minute we are due to head down to Terminal 4 on the 1973 stock. So just picking up the train now. We've got what's called a double-ended unit, which basically means we've got three cabs, one either end, and when we get there, one in the middle. And this was because back in the day, the Old Witch branch, which is now closed, used to run 3-car trains. So there's the one in the middle. So yeah, I don't really know why they call it double-ender, because there's 3 cabs. But anyway, let's get on board and get set up. So this is my home for the next 3 hours. Yeah, put that down, put my coffee down, the most important thing. Back, and find my keys. Let's put you there. So let's set up the train. Yep, that's working. So just need to put in my radio number. And that's so if I leave the train to deal with an incident and the control call the train will then forward the call onto my handheld radio. And now I'm just going to set it up for the destination. So that's all set, and now I'm just going to check the we've got headlights and everything on the front. That looks all good. Right, now I need to find a home for you. I will try and give a bit of a commentary as we drive, just explain a few things about the line. You might find interesting if you've ever travelled on the Pick line and wonder why certain things happen. Hopefully it will come out on video. I'm just looking for my suction cup. If not, I will add subtitles later. Say the batteries, I'm not sure if they'll last all the way to Heathrow, but we'll see what happens. Right, I'll see you on the road. Oh, well, we've got the signal, so we better get gone. So we're heading westbound down to London Heathrow Terminal 4. Just on your right hand side there is Cockfosters depot. You can see all the trees have been cut down on the left and right. It's because we've got new trains coming in 2025 and they're going to be longer, so they need more space for them. And this depot we can bring trains in and out at the what we call the east end, which is Cockfosters, and we can also bring them out on the west end, which is Oakwood. So if you've ever been on a train that terminates at Oakwood, chances are it's going into the depot. Of course, we'll make sure we stop for the reds. Just like to advise all passengers, we are just been held at a red signal, be on the move again shortly. Thank you. So we've probably been held here due to a train on the platform, or maybe one actually coming out of the depot. Hopefully we won't be here too long. You'll see some of these signals and things with black bags on, taped up, or signs that say not in use. That's all stuff they're preparing for the new trains. Because they're longer, we'll have different stopping marks and things like that. So we're now coming down into Oakwood. So these blue count-up markers, see it goes 1 through to 6. The idea is that if we have to stop, whether we have a passenger alarm or something like that, it shows how many cars out the station we are. So that in theory, if we're just before the 6 car mark and we have to stop, we could detrain everybody from car 6, which would still be on the platform. So we have them at every station. So those yellow signals are what's known as repeater signals. So the signal they're repeating, it's just telling me that it's red. It's round the corner, so we can't quite see it yet. But if we come down here at full speed, I wouldn't be able to stop without me knowing the signal was red in advance. Next station is Southgate. I am actually going to move you down the window a little bit. There should be better. So we blow the whistle as we come out of a tunnel. We also have whistle boards, but we only do that between 7 AM and 7 PM. Any other time would only be an emergency, someone on the track, something like that, or too close to the edge of the platform. So next stop is Arnos Grove. If you've ever been on the Piccadilly Line and you wonder why the train sits for a while at places like Arnos Grove, it's what we call a regulation point, because believe it or not, we do run to a timetable, but also it is an area where we would change drivers if we were changing drivers. There's 4 different places we do it. Cockfosters and Arnos Grove are 2 of them this end of the line. So it just allows a little extra time for the drivers to change over. So once again, that yellow's just telling me the next signal's red. I know where the signal is, so I know not to come down here fast. So if you're wondering about the rails, what we've got 4 here. So if we start on the right hand side, that's a running rail. Middle one is the negative power. The next one is a running rail. They're what your wheels are on, obviously, and then you've got your positive rail on the left hand side. Now between the running rails, it's called the forefoot. As we see coming here, if it comes up on camera, there's flashing yellow lights, should be 2 lights. That's for a temporary speed restriction, or TSR. So in this case, it's 25 miles per hour. As we come into Arnos Grove. And as we picked up a couple of minutes late, we're about a minute late here. Hence why we've got the signal straight away. As you can see, the track does go off to the right hand side. That goes into Arnos Grove sidings. I think it's 7 trains can be stabled in there. No trains there today. Next stop is Bounds Green. We're heading into the tunnel. It's the main tunnel. It's 20 stations within this tunnel, and it's known as the Pipe. So we're heading into the Pipe, and we won't come out until we're out towards Barons Court. So we've still got that 25-mile-an-hour speed restriction till just inside this tunnel. You'll see the flashing lights in the forefoot. Again, that's between the running rails, and it'll have a T-board saying that's where it ends. And if it comes out, you just got the yellow flashing lights just by this signal here, and then there's the T. So now it's normal line speed, which is 35 in this section. So like I say, we're in the dark now for about 40 minutes, if all goes well. speed restriction here, 35 miles an hour, and it's called a PSR, permanent speed restriction. Full speed maximum for the Piccadilly line is 45. Although there's not many places you can do that speed. A few on the outdoor sections. So here comes our T-board just on the right hand side. So technically I can do 45, but just coming up is a 40 mile an hour limit as well. You'll see it on the right hand side just past this signal. Just there. Now, coming into Wood Green, on the right hand side of the screen you'll see some tracks, or a road as we call it. That's from Wood Green sidings. We can put one train in there, and that's so we can reverse from the eastbound to the westbound. Just see it just there. Next station is Turnpike Lane. So next stop is Manor House. It's a bit of a trip, this one. It's probably one of the longer sections within this main tunnel or pipe. So if you are enjoying this video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. At some point I do want to do all of the Piccadilly line for you, including in and out the depot and things like that when I actually do them. I also have some other content. I'm heading off to Australia in a few weeks and to Colombia, so don't forget to subscribe to see them videos and hit that bell notification so you are notified when a new video is out. next station is Finsbury Park. You can change here for the Victoria Line. You may actually see one go past when we leave the station. I always take extra care with this station because not only is it on a bit of a bend, it's also on a bit of a hill. Same on the eastbound. It's also a regulation point, so more often than not we do get held for a couple of minutes just to regulate the service, or if we're running early. So this is Finsbury Park. So I've got a 25 mph speed limit here. There is some points here. In a minute you'll see a tunnel to the left. That's the Victoria Line, and they can bring trains from the Victoria Line across. It's really only used for engineering trains. So yeah, on the left, that's the Victoria Line. So we're now coming down into Arsenal Station. This station's usually relatively quiet unless Arsenal Football Club are playing at home, and then it's a very different beast. Of course, it used to be called Gillespie Road. I'll have to try and, if I remember, I'll Google when it changed to Arsenal and put the date in. I don't know if it comes out on the camera, it still says Gillespie Road on the tiles, just here on the right. If you've ever wondered why the tiles on these stations are all slightly different colours, different patterns, apparently when they first built the tube, a lot of people couldn't read. So each station had its own pattern so people would know what station they're at. To be fair, I travel up and down here many times and I still couldn't tell you what station they are just by looking at the tiles on the wall. Anyway, next station is Holloway Road. next station is Caledonian Road. On this line we do have some disused stations, which I will show you as we go past them. So the next station is King's Cross St Pancras. So this is where things get a little bit busier. Always take a bit more care. Well, I take care everywhere I drive. But we're going to start seeing a lot more signals. I don't know if it comes out, there is a yellow signal ahead, which means we've caught up with the train ahead. So I know there's a red around the corner, so I'm not going to bother speed. Well, I never speed anyway, but I'm just going to, at the minute I'm doing 20 mile an hour. I'd rather drive at 20 than keep stopping at red lights. But at least I know I'm right behind a train. So we've got our first of our disused stations coming up, which is York Road, and you'll see it on the right hand side in a minute. And again, I'll try and find out the date it opened and closed and stick it on the screen below. If I can't find out and haven't put it on there, apologies. We've got a 30 mile an hour speed limit as well coming up. But I'm going to do less than that because I know we're not far from the train in front. So we're just coming up to York Road now on the right hand side, or just round this corner. Again, I'm not sure how it'll come out on the camera. But it's just here. Don't know if you can see the old platform and everything there. I believe they're using it for storage, so when they take old stuff off the stations, they're putting it there to try and reuse on other projects. So we're coming down into King's Cross St Pancras. So now I've got all greens, I know I'm clear into the platform. Got 35 mile an hour limit ahead, but because we are downhill and on a bend, I never go that fast. This station can be extremely busy. So I'm going to brake early. You really do have to have eyes in the back of your head in this job. People will just run into closing doors. Anyway, next stop is Russell Square. You'll see some points coming up, so a road going off, or tracks going off to the right hand side there, and that's because we can reverse and go west to east or east to west. If we're going west to east, in a second on the left hand side you'll see a white board that says limit of shunt, and we'd stop at that, change ends, and then we can go straight eastbound, just there, if you're interested. So we'll do that during engineering works, or if there's disruption ahead and we're suspended, we can reverse go back the other way rather than just sit on a platform. There are several of them. I will try and point some out for those of you that do like to know how things work. So we're coming into Russell Square. It is downhill, so you do have to be a little bit careful with your speed. I would hate to run a red light or overrun the platform, or both. So next station is Holborn. You can get the Central Line from Holborn, so it can be an extremely busy station. Got a 30-mile-an-hour limit there, if you can see it on the right. But again, because we're still going downhill, I personally don't go that fast. Next stop is Covent Garden. It's quite windy, this section, so it's 20-mile-an-hour limit. Plus, as you can see, we are starting to see a lot more signals than we did the other end of the line. Just means we can get closer to the train in front without fear of hitting it, so you can just fit more trains in a section. And you can just see the eastbound Piccadilly line there on the right hand side. This is Covent Garden. The distance between Covent Garden and Leicester Square is the shortest of anywhere on the tube network. In fact, if you're ever here, don't get the tube, just walk, it's quicker. Once everyone's on board, we'll close the doors. Looks good. Next stop is Leicester Square. And you'll see how short it is. So that signals at the 5-car mark. So you see where the 6-car is just behind it, and we're probably another 2-car lengths, and then there's the platform. It'll take you longer to get down to the platform and back up again than it will to walk. So here you can change for the Northern Line, the Charing Cross branch. Next stop is Piccadilly Circus. Platforms are reasonably quiet today, but this has been filmed on a Monday. Mondays generally are quiet, or quieter, should I say. I forgot to say, at Piccadilly Circus you change for the Bakerloo line. Next stop is Green Park. You can change there for the Victoria line and Jubilee line. So again, usually a busy station with the interchanges. It's also a regulation point. We can be held here again just to regulate if we're running early. Coming up we have another disused station, which is Down Street. The Down Street station is actually quite famous. Winston Churchill spent time there during the war, and I believe his bath is still there. I've not been to the station personally, but yeah, apparently his bath's still in there. Might need a bit of a clean. So that's on the right hand side, and then just after that you'll see Down Street sidings, and we can put 2 trains in there. I mean, in terms of the disused stations, not much you can see. But it's just here on the right hand side. Obviously it's walled off most of it now. And there's the sidings. So we're now coming down into Hyde Park Corner. As we come into the station you'll see there is a road coming from the right hand side, and that's because a bit like King's Cross, we can reverse. We can go west to east, which is the direction we are, or east to west. It's usually a quiet station, unless you've got things like Winter Wonderland or concert in the park at Hyde Park during the summer and that sort of thing. And then it's murder here because it's only a small station. I have to confess it's warm in here. We've got air conditioning in the cab, except it doesn't work, so I'm sweating. Everyone's on, let's go. Doors are closed, we got a green. Next stop is Knightsbridge. Knightsbridge is for Harrods. That's what it's famous for. Again, very busy station for people who've got more money than me. Got speed limit just round the corner here, 25. So I'm just going to stay at that all the way around. So there's the speed limit just there on the left. And here's Knightsbridge. So far we have been lucky with the platforms, very quiet. I might have jinxed it now. So we've got another disused station coming up, Brompton Road I think it was called. Again, you can't see too much, it's just walled off, but I will point it out to you. So whether it comes out on the camera, probably doubt it. So the next station we're stopping at is South Kensington. It's very windy. So the speed limit's 20, but we do have a temporary speed restriction of 15. This is due to wheel screech noise around the bends, so we've reduced it, or they've reduced it by 5 miles an hour, just to stop that noise. So if you look in the forefoot, so that's between the two running rails, you'll see, hopefully if they're working, some flashing lights. Yeah, just about. And Brompton Road is just here on your right hand side. So that's an old station. So yeah, you'll see how windy this is. So South Kensington, you've got some museums, and you can also change for the District Line and Circle Line. We've only got 3 more stations in this section of pipe or tunnel, and then we're back out in the sunshine. For a little bit anyway. This is South Kensington. Next stop is Gloucester Road. Again, you can change there for District Line and Circle Line. There is a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit just coming up, but I've not gone above that. So it's just there. So just one more station left here, or in the pipe, and that'll be Earls Court. Everyone's on, we've got the signal, and we're good to go. Doors are closed, let's go. So Earls Court, the next station. Again, you can change there for District and Circle Line. I think you head upstairs. So that's it for the pipe, or this main pipe anyway. We'll be heading back underground a bit later. Next stop is Barron's Court. Got a couple of speed limits before we get to Barron's Court. We've got a 30 coming up and then a 25 beyond that. We're heading uphill anyway, so that helps keep the speed under control. So there's the 30. It's not on full power and it's sitting at 25, ready for this 25-mile-an-hour limit that's coming up. In fact, I'll just come off the power just to knock it down a couple of miles an hour. Speeds drop down to about 20, so just past that signal is the end of the 25, and we'll be doing 25 at it. Now we're in full power. That's if you're interested in how we drive these. This is certainly how I do it anyway. and we'll see some daylight. Oh, looks a bit sunny. So the track to the left and to the right, far left and far right, that's for the District Line. We're on what we call the fast, so this is the westbound fast, the one just to our right is the eastbound fast, and then right to the left is the eastbound local, and to the right, sorry, westbound local to the left, eastbound local to the right. So you change here for the District Line. Oh, that sun's right in my eyes. Well, we've been held on a red signal, so it means we're on time or early. We've just been regulated. So the next station is Hammersmith. There is 2 stations at Hammersmith. You've got this one, which is classed as the Piccadilly and District Line Hammersmith, and then you've got one just around the corner, which is for the Hammersmith and City and Circle Line. So there's a District Line train going to Upminster, and there's a Piccadilly Line train going to Cockfosters. We do have some sidings here. We can do lots of different moves. We can change ends in the sidings, we can go through the sidings onto different platforms, or at Hammersmith, if you've ever been on here when we've had engineering works, we do that quite a lot. A lot of signals in this area, so you really got to pay attention. £20-mile-an-hour limit, and that temporary speed limit's been there since I've been here, so it's 8 years at least. So this is Hammersmith. Next stop after this is Acton Town. Right. This train is now ready to depart. Please mind the closing doors. Mind the doors. So that alarm you heard just go off, that's called an OPO alarm. Some of you might know it as similar to like a dead man's handle. So if we haven't held the handle down for 1 minute, that alarm will go off. If we don't press it down within approximately another 1 minute, it sends an alarm to our control centre, and then they try and contact us. So that if the worst was to happen and a driver was to collapse, that would then obviously go off and send a distress call. I've got a 25-mile-an-hour temporary speed limit anyway, just up to the top of this hill, and then we're running fast through 4 stations. The problem with these stations are the amount of people with headphones on that are oblivious to the trains running through fast, because we don't stop at them. Turnham Green we will stop at. We stop early in the morning, can't remember what time because I don't do the earlies, but at night we stop after 10:30 at Turnham Green, both directions, but the others we don't do. We used to be able to use the slow lines, but they took the points out, so we can't do that. So Acton Town in a few minutes. just see an A380 going into land into Heathrow. Can't see whose it is. Turnham Green is the next one, so that's where we would stop at night after 10:30. Or if something would happen, they could ask us to stop. So if District Line was suspended or something like that. Just got to look out for people too close to the edge. That sun really is making life difficult to see. Looks like we're going to be bang on time into Acton Town. Acton Town is another one of them places where you can be regulated. Also, it's a driver changeover point, and there's several sidings here, so there's often trains going in and out the different sidings. So if you're ever delayed in the area, it could be one of those reasons. As you can see, I think there's 2 trains in the sidings now, just ahead, a District Line on the left. So we have 3 sidings there, and then there's 1 siding the other side of Acton Town.
Piccadilly signal with a message for trains approaching Acton Town on the westbound. Just had a stop and crew taking place in the westbound platforms. Both trains are on the move, so trains are on the approach platform should get a clear signal shortly. We do have a bit of congestion towards Acton Town, the westbound this evening. That's due to all Heathrow trains having to run down the westbound local, so congestion as you approach Acton Town. This is due to Heathrow trains having to run down the westbound.
We are just been held at a red signal, be on the move shortly. I don't know if you heard that, we just made an announcement. We have the local and the fast line here, and we can use both, but due to a points issue at Northfields, it seems like we're only running down the local, which is where that District Line train's going. So once that's clear, we should get the signal then into the local. So Acton Town, there is 2 different routes. You can either go towards Northfields, Heathrow, which is what we're doing, or you can take the branch line up towards Rayners Lane and Uxbridge, and then you've got the District Line that goes up that way towards Ealing Broadway. But we're not doing that today. I will try and do that another day for you. Well, he's closed his doors, so he should be on the move. As we're going into the local, we're a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit, so we're basically going to go on to the left. Just checking he gave me the right signal. He did. So these tracks that you can see, or roads coming out on the left hand side, that goes into the main Acton works. I believe they're refurbishing some of the Central Line trains in there. Never been in personally, but... So this is Acton Town. So we was on time, now we're 2 minutes late. That's everyone on. We've got the signal. Let's go. So I said there were sidings just past Acton. You won't be able to see them from up here. So the sidings are just down on the right hand side, in the middle of the west and eastbound fast. The road that you'll see off to the right hand side is towards Ealing Broadway, Rayners Lane, Uxbridge. We're just coming up and over. You're enjoying the commentary. Well, I hope it comes out alright. I appreciate that I'm sort of just stating facts rather than talking more natural, but obviously my attention needs to be on driving the train more. That's more important, safety. But hopefully it just gives you a little insight into some of the things that we do that may impact your service, or if you've seen bits and you thought, oh, I wonder what that's for. So next stop is South Ealing. Of course, you've got to make sure you don't mix up the signals here. Those reds on the right hand side, that's for the fast. Our signals are on the left. We've got a green, a yellow and then a red. Just waiting for that red to change. There we go. We are just been held at a red signal, be on the move again shortly. Thank you. So even though we can't see it, there's a train in the platform ahead of us at Northfields. I don't know whether it's going into the depot or whether it's a Heathrow service. But we just got to wait for the signals to clear now. We'll move up slowly to the next signal. Hopefully it'll clear before we get there.
information. Customer said Southgate was currently a good service operator. Investigate all information.
So now we're coming into Northfields. Again, this is a place to be regulated and change of driver. And also you've got trains coming in and out of the Northfields depot. You'll probably be able to see on the camera there is a train ahead of us just coming out. Obviously not onto this road. They're going eastbound. Check we've got the right signal. We've got a green signal. That white disc on the floor with the red line across it, that's the shunt signal. So if that turned, so the red line was at an angle, that means we were signalled into the depot.